Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. Today we will be doing something actually pretty trivial using Blender Compositor nodes. Basically, this is the effects that we're gonna be creating. You're probably gonna be needing an iPhone, but I don't know. You don't need an iPhone. You basically need to have some kind of two image that you can blend between two. And I'm picking this artwork, which is actually you might have seen this artwork from a League of Legends K-pop video. I found this these artworks to be really cool, and a lot of fun artists is making this artwork. But this character is especially really cool, and I picked the one from Lumeni Zampel. This one of the artists that's making this artwork. Basically, these two transition artworks that will be creating the transitions using Blender Compositor, and then I'll teach you a trick to convert it into live photo for your iPhone wallpaper. So yeah, it's pretty trivial. You probably already know how to do this, but I'll show it to you anyway. So Blender 2.79, it's not Blender 2.8 yet. I like working using Blender 2.79, and I'll switch to compositing. We're gonna be using Compositor, turn on, use nodes, and we have render layers, composite. We're not gonna be using those. We're just gonna be doing a simple blend using Blender. So this is the artwork. We're just gonna be drag and dropping it, and the other one. If you don't want to do drag and drop, you can always use you can create a input image and then just select the image this way. Let's select this one and delete. Save as blending or trivial blend 001. Alright, how to do a simple blend using this? We're simply gonna be needing a mix node, and this is gonna be the original. This is the one that's after the after dark version of the character. And normally I like to look at the result using viewer node. Plug this in. And in order to see the result, we need a viewer node over here. And now simply mixing the two images. So this is like the normal, this is the blend. It's very simple and very basic, right? You can create a blending animation this way, and as a result, for the final composite, we will need to make sure the image size is the same, 600 by 849. Okay, 600 by 850. Some program doesn't like this kind of value, like odd value. You need to keep it even number. All right, so if we doing like a render, let's do a quick render. So the result will be exactly like the viewer nodes. But we're gonna be doing animations, and the animations is gonna be transition between 1 and 250. Let's try 1 to 100, for example. So at frame 0, I'll just gonna keyframe it. I'm gonna hit I, keyframe there, and then at the frame 100, keyframe again. So by doing that, you have these transitions from 0 to 100. And so yeah, that's pretty much done. And you want to output something that's looks a bit like this. So it's transitions for a few seconds, because for iPhone live photo or for live wallpaper, you better keep it like 3 to 6 seconds. You can have longer. But yeah, that's the final result. And if you just want to render it out, I'll show you. You just need to use the FFmpeg video over here for the output. Encoding should be MP4 QuickTime high quality. And if you render this out, just wait a few seconds. For Mac, you normally have it on the temp folder. On the PC as well, it's the same. So just wait a few seconds until the rendering is completed. It's only 100 frames. And you should have it over here. Yeah, I couldn't see anything here. Wonder why. Output TMP. Okay. Ah, there you go. So yeah, you're pretty much done, right? And on the iPhone, actually, you just airdrop this into the iPhone, and then you use an app called Live Studio, and then you can convert that into a live photo. But from this trivial example, let's say you want to kind of change the length from 1 to 150. Let's make it a little bit more complicated. If you go to the dope sheet, of course, you can always change. This is the keyframe, the start and the end. You can always kind of put the keyframe over there, so you have a new range of animations. But if you want to change it again to another different length, you need to adjust it again. So in order for this to work automatically, how do we do that? This is where it gets pretty interesting. I'll be using Sverchok add-on for this to create some kind of automatic drivers for this guy. I'm gonna clear the keyframe, so now there is no animations. Back to 0, and then I will turn on Sverchok add-on. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna try to drive this compositor nodes using Sverchok. First of all, compositor nodes, right? If you're changing the value, you can see bpy.data node groups, compositing node tree, blah blah blah, right? If we are using the Python console and try to get into that data blocks, you will not find it. It's very strange, but this is it's not a bug. It's actually kind of interesting. So you can see a couple of node tree, and there's a node tree there, but that's actually Sverchok 1. If I change the name, you can see that's a SV drive blend. It's not the compositor. You cannot actually go to compositing node 3 this way. No, you cannot do that. The way you access it, you need to actually go to BPY context scene, and the tree is BPY context scene node 3. Compositor node is special. There is no, you cannot have more than one compositor node, and that data blocks is located here, which is pretty strange, but you just need to leave like that. So okay, you can get to that node, and then you can control the mix, and this value is the input 1, input 0, default value. Inputs with S, and then default value. So that's the value that you can control using Python. So if you can control it that way, you can then use Sverchok to control the value. There are many ways to do this. You can use, I believe you can use formula node and just copy paste this in there. And use a float value, plug into this. uh, okay, this one doesn't seem to work. So another way is to use the Object Id Selector. I really like this method, even though it feels slightly complicated, but it's not really. Basically, you go inside the scene, which is dpy.context.scene, the current scenes, and then you can go to Object ID set. Based on this, you want to get to the node 3, right? And the node 3 will be the compositor nodes. So we already get inside the data blocks. We can go deeper into the nodes and then use that mark symbol for there, and you can get all the list of all the nodes inside this compositor nodes. And then you go deeper into the attributes, like oh, in this case we just gonna filter it out, Object ID filter. So this is the objects, and we want to get to the mix, and okay, should be the out values. We get to the mix, and then here we use the Object ID set, and we're gonna set up the inputs 0, and we get deeper to the default value. Okay, that seems really hard, but it's actually much more logical if you look at it. So we have this compositor node 3, and then we are digging into the data using Sverchok, and there you go, 0.8. If we are using float value over here, we can now control our compositor node using Sverchok, and you can do pretty crazy thing. For now, we're not gonna be doing anything crazy. Just use a frame info. You see here, these nodes have the current frame, start frame, end frame, and evaluate. Evaluate is actually like a value between 0 and 1 based on the range of the frame. So that's exactly the value that we need to plug into our compositor node. Okay, so that's pretty much the setup. So now, no matter, so we have, like, for example, now we have 70 frames, but within that range, we're gonna have the transition between the two images. And if I change this to 200, the same thing will happen. 0, 200, 0, 200. It's a very simple blend, but it's kind of interesting once you understand this. And the fact that it works really, really well with the iPhone live photo. Okay, with a live photo, if you don't know what live photo is on the iPhone, if you take a photo using live photo feature, it's gonna take 3 to 6 to 9 seconds of like a video before and after you press the shutter. So it's kind of like live photo with audio. So you can create an animations in Blender and then turn it into a live photo using an app called Live Studio. And then with this simple blending, especially with this character, really, really cool character, and really cool artwork by, what's her name again? Lumeni Zampel. Okay. These animations will work as a really nice live photo, because when you press the iPhone and you get a live photo like this, and then you release it, it's gonna blend back into the original image. So this fade It's really simple, but it really adds a lot. So I'll show it to you again. So if I pressed it, it's gonna turn into this, and if I release, within a second, it's gonna go back into the original image. So this is perfect because you can add all kind of different effects, maybe like desaturate it or blur it, or even animate this character slightly. But this is simple fade, and then from dark, light to dark. It works really well for the live photo. I can probably show you the process. Let me try to mirror the iPhone. I'm using a Reflector app, and I'm gonna mirror my iPhone to this guy. Okay, cool. And then now I will just use this one right here. Share via airdrop into my iPhone. Okay, so we get it there. Just a simple animation. And then we're gonna use Live Studio and convert the video into live photo. It's actually pretty simple like that. And don't pick the last one, pick the first frame. Now it's created the live photo. Save live photo. Once it is a live photo, you can see there's a symbol live over there. And I can actually press. See, this is like I'm controlling it by pressing the iPhone. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a very simple effects, very trivial, but it works really well. So yeah, hopefully you find this useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.